Well, hello again, everyone. It's Nick Michalak and my marvelous Steve Frazier friend.
Hey!
And, guys, Scream 3 today, because we got to keep going with the franchise. You got to get to the good before you got to get to the bad before you get back to the good.
Right,
So,
right. Peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys.
We've had some people say they kind of like the film, so let's get into it. Get your subtitles turned on for the film, and we'll get you a countdown to sync up, so enjoy the ride here. So in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Well, this is a shit show. Let's see here. I tend not to do nearly as much pre-gaming for these types of things as you do. When did you watch this recently?
Well, technically, I just watched it last night with the actual audio commentary on the disc.
Okay. So yeah, you usually go through and do these extra, views with commentaries to get whatever.
We're going to have a lot of things to talk about with this one because there's a lot of problems. I might as well hear what the filmmakers kind of had to say, and there's some things, and there's more beyond that from research beyond that. So
sure, I tend to go much more cold. Some of these films I have not seen in years prior to us watching. This one I did watch about 6 months ago, give or take.
Went to the DVDs for the sequels, so
and just to get caught up because it had been a long, maybe since the theater. And what was the year on this one?
February of 2000.
Okay, so they took a little more than a year. They took 13 months.
No, because the second one came out in 97.
Oh, I thought
it's over 2 years.
Oh, I thought it was 97, 98. I'm sorry. It was 96, 97.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
What's old Cotton up to here?
Oh. A lady. I think there's a lady who dialed the wrong number, who's sweet on him, and he's a mover and a shaker. He's a schmoozer. And
he's got his own show at this point?
And he's got this wonderful white suit.
I do love a white suit. I love white everything.
Yes.
And I saw in the subtitles here while I was talking something about a script and how he wanted a part in the movie because he lived through it.
Stab 3.
So I thought it was 2.
No, I think it's 3 they're doing in this one. I think they might have jumped over.
They skipped 1? Okay.
Yeah. So they're probably saying the events of Scream 2 already were adapted into another film.
Right.
And now they're kind of going off and doing something completely fictionalized for the third film in the franchise.
Okay. And now he's on the phone with the killer.
Yeah.
And this is the same voice actor for the
whole franchise.
He sounds different here. All right. I mean, granted, we have the sound very low.
Yeah. Some of our recent commentaries, I've noticed that the volume's been a little high, so I'm going to try and modulate it a little better.
Yeah.
We haven't been hit with any copyright things, but let's play it a little safer. Because I've had those problems in the past where it's been too high, we have a little too long of a gap between talking, and it just gets
and they ding you. Yeah, they ding you.
It gets problematic, so.
This is Mrs. Cotton here.
Kelly Rutherford. She was on Melrose Place, apparently.
Okay.
So.
I never watched Melrose.
No. Apparently, they did a lot of reshoots with this opening. They kind of, I don't know exactly what the issue. Maybe it was beefing it up or whatnot.
Make it a more exciting.
Yeah. It's part of this was actual location, but then when they had to do the reshoots, they couldn't get the location again in West Hollywood, so they had to completely rebuild the set exactly.
Oh no!
To reshoot the sequence.
I saw that they, he drove by Capitol Records. Is there a more iconic LA?
No.
That there's Staples Center and Capitol Records, right? Those are the two.
Yeah.
You're going the wrong way.
One thing I was noticing when I was watching this last night, it's like it in a way, the visually, cinematography, it's a darker looking film.
Okay.
I think the first two have a lot more vibrance, a little bit more punch to it. This one has a little bit more of a dim, kind of a way of just a dimmer way of doing things.
Well,
I don't know what it is.
It's clearly a dimmer script.
Right, but yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit more kind of, I don't know, moody in a certain way in terms of how it's being shot.
Yeah.
Not specifically how it feels, but visually it has a bit of a different color palette, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely like a warmer, darker...
Yeah.
Cinzano.
Don't like your stab games.
Oh.
Clearly Cotton likes to do a little foreplay.
Yeah, I guess you could extrapolate that.
Well,
so, oh, yeah, wet floor.
nice
I do love, and I know we mentioned this the other two, I do love how Ghostface always just is so bumbling and like he actually sells when he gets hit. He falls down.
Yeah.
He trips.
Yeah, I mean, I like that she just kicked him in the face. That's nice.
Yeah.
You don't kick Jason in the face, really.
No.
This is, I mean, the voice emulation thing in the films is a nice addition. I don't really know, and so much I don't really know how well it really is effectively used, unfortunately. I think that's kind of more just kind of, it feels, as we go along, it feels more like they do it just kind of fake out the audience more than the actual characters, because it really doesn't amount to much in that regard.
I feel like most of this movie,
maybe like the third act of the film.
Most of this movie doesn't amount to much, and it feels like they were barfing up ideas and saying, what comes next? I don't know, let's just make this up, and then...
Well, Kevin Williamson was contracted for the sequels, for 2 sequels here, and unfortunately he had gotten so big that he was now executive producing television series, and now he was writing and directing his own film, so his schedule got a lot more jammed up, so when they actually wanted to go ahead with Scream 3, he didn't have time to write the script. All he could do is put together like a 20-page outline of the script.
Oh, like a draft,
which they threw away.
Okay.
Eventually.
Sure.
And hired Aaron Kruger, who later on, as we discussed before, wrote like Transformers 2, 3, 4, and 5 for Michael Bay, which are just terrible. They're barely scripts to begin with.
Right. I did see the first Transformers new in the theater and thought it was okay.
It was okay. The other ones just get.
After that,
just kind of a mess.
Fun with computers. I don't like any of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, we digressed here.
But what the matter is that it's a disproportionate trade-off in quality of screenwriter here.
Right, especially since they didn't even use his
ideas,
his outline.
Yeah, because well, there's a lot of things. I think we'll save until we get a little bit further on into what I'd like to keep. Kind of focus on the opening sequence a little bit, but we'll get more into script and development stuff. And apparently Liev kind of got a little bit more bulked up in this film.
Yeah, he put on a few pounds.
He's got some tone to him.
Is he on the gas? What?
Apparently he was kind of afraid that the stuntman wouldn't be up to his physique or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, he definitely looks a lot better than he did in the last film. Hair's a little bit more in line, and he just looks better.
And all 4 of these were directed by Wes Craven, yeah?
Yeah.
Which means that the stunt person that you speak of was the little man.
little Italian man
Little man, Tony Caesar, yeah.
About half the size of Leo.
I did meet him, and he was wonderful. He did the famous burn on Nightmare 1 that he won an award for. He said he worked with Wes on 28 projects. Yeah. He did every one of Wes's films, every single one. So he may, if we see that Ghostface is
it's about 4'5",
right? And we know it's my boy Tony.
Yeah.
And
we get a little blood on the mask for once.
Yeah. And that's a little cold open there,
Yeah.
and a hot title sequence. Yeah. I like that it's just quick and flashy.
Mm-hmm.
And the timeless Neve Campbell.
Yeah. And another thing was that she also got really hot at this point in time.
Well, she's hot.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, very popular. She was very much in demand. So they only had 20 days for her to shoot her part of the film.
20, you said?
20 days.
Okay.
The production lasted for over 80 days.
Okay.
So it's about 1/4 of the amount of time that took to shoot the entire film that she was available for it.
I don't recall. Is she like 20% of the role, like that she always had? Is she still the star of this one?
The story's still centered around her, but there's long stretches of the film where it's more focused like Dewey and Gale and other characters.
Yeah, I was going to say I thought it was more Dewey
and there's scenes where she's like just in the police station, or she's just in this location here, so she's a lot more disconnected from the bulk of the action going on in the story. So
I think it's an interesting twist here, or not twist, but evolution of her character, that she is now, crisis management.
Right.
The old computer there, forget what those are called.
I think that's one of the IMAX.
It could be iMac, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I remember they came in those funky colors.
Yeah.
She's got the old HP printer there.
Yeah.
But I mean, kind of cool that this is where they took her character.
And that was a good thing, because apparently, from what I was reading, I think Erin Kruger was trying to turn her in the script into a Sarah Connor character. She wanted to turn her into what we've been kind of getting into about the Laurie Strode character every time they bring her back.
Right.
That she becomes a gung-ho sort of action-oriented character, and it doesn't always completely work. And I think this, where we go with the character in this, I think it feels a lot more satisfying that this sort of incident has happened twice, and she's gotten so untrusting of people because people keep doing this. The psychos keep coming out the woodwork. She decides she's just going to disappear into the mountains and be as remote as possible from society.
Yeah, and I really don't want to talk about Halloween 2018 again.
No.
But this is already... I mean, this is a bad movie, but...
It's not 100%... Not every idea is a bad idea. It's badly... A lot of things are poorly executed, and things are a little bit sort of off the rails.
It just feels
like
tone. It feels rough draftish.
Right,
to me.
right.
Yeah, like they didn't really take the time to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey everyone, read this out loud to me and tell me that you think it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because Wes didn't get any screenwriting credit on this, but apparently he did a lot of work on rewriting the recurring characters, because Kruger hadn't spent any time with the actors to understand how to write the characters. So Wes had to keep interjecting and rewriting things to make sure that these were the same characters and remain consistent.
Unlike Laurie Strode.
Exactly.
So at least, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Wes is the savior, right?
Yeah. Doing everything he can. I love how she can just act with the eyes.
Yeah. Well, acting is reacting, right?
Oh, yeah. She really knows how to pull that glassy eye thing out.
Now in production, Stab 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sunrise Studios. I wonder if that's a shout out to something. Nothing comes to mind, but you know how they do inside shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like that.
Which, in a way, a lot of this film is kind of inside Hollywood stuff. And it feels kind of douchey in a certain way.
Yeah.
Indulgent stuff.
Well, I mean, we're on a set.
And it's Roger Corman in the middle.
The famed
Roger Corman and Lance Henriksen, too. We sat in on a Lance panel. He didn't talk anything about this movie. He had better movies to talk about. But I love Lance.
Lance is awesome.
Lance is awesome.
And he's been in like 300 movies.
Oh, yeah. The guy has no shortage of work. I mean, a lot of people could look at some of the films he's done and think they're not terribly good, but as we said in his panel, he said he
likes to work.
He likes to work. He likes doing it. He likes the process of it. He enjoys doing films. So I don't hold that against him then.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that anybody with a job likes to get paid, and somebody says, "Oh, do you want a paycheck?"
Yeah.
You go, "Okay."
Yeah.
Somebody says, "Hey, Lance, I got some work. You want to work?"
Yeah.
He doesn't care what it is.
No.
Write me a check.
Right.
Now, not saying that somebody of his caliber can't pick and choose.
If he wants to, yeah.
This is hilarious that they have all they've recreated the set. They've got all these people that are playing the people we know and love. I don't know. It the
fake mustache is a nice touch because he doesn't look like Dewey at all.
No,
he looks like 70s sleaze movie Dewey.
I do love yellow. This is a great outfit on her.
I don't know about the hair, though. The cropped bangs.
Yeah, not digging it.
It's not her hottest look.
No. No.
There's
old
newswoman there.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Secret camera.
Little high-8 digital 8 camera or something.
And this is my gal Parker Posey.
Oh, she's wonderful in this. The Warburton right there. Good old David Putty.
David Putty, yeah.
High five.
High five. Yeah, love it. Love it. It's my boy.
It's wonderful.
I love Parker Posey.
Oh.
I love that Parker Posey is basically doing an impression.
She thinks she's a better Gale Weathers than the actual Gale Weathers. It's wonderful. Oh, she's digging at her.
Yeah. Hey, there's our guy.
Uh-huh.
The method mustache.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were still married at this point.
I think they had just gotten that.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. Because at the end of this, I think she is credited as Cox Arquette.
Okay. I think I asked you that in the first one.
Yeah. So this is the only one where she has that credit.
Cox Arquette. Now back to Cox.
Dewey thinks he's all slick motherfucker here. He gets all smarmy in this movie.
Yeah, he's a little too big for his britches.
He's too full of himself. Yeah.
Technical advisor. What is this guy's name?
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like he's been in stuff.
Oh.
I don't know. But I don't know, it's interesting, if you write out down on paper that they're on the movie set of, The Stab, and there's an actor portrayal character for every character in the movie, and you basically have the real one and the actor one.
Okay.
That's a neat idea.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I just feel like everything that they try to do with the link to the past, and
that's the thing that gets me.
That is the part that ruins it.
Yeah.
All of this is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's silly. It's meta, but whatever. It is what
that's what the franchise has been. So that's fine.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not out of the it's not a break
outside
of character.
the bounds of what the franchise has been known for.
Yeah. Get her, Lance. The rent-a-cops come and take her away.
Oh. There we go. This gets a little silly. Jay and Silent Bob.
And
behind them, that's Wes and the cinematographer.
Oh, that wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Huh. And why are these two in here?
I don't know. I know that Wes, because Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back comes out like a year and a half after this, and Wes has a cameo in that.
Okay.
Directing, like Scream 4 or whatnot, and Shannon Doherty's in it. It's weird, but I don't know why specifically that happened. I don't know. They were just, because they're all in the like Miramax family.
I was
going to
say, it's got to be a studio
thing. Probably just a schmoozy type of thing. Hey, whatever.
I mean, they could have legit just been at the studio.
Yeah.
And Wes was like, "Oh, hey, I like you guys.
Yeah.
Want to do a walk on?"
Yeah.
And then they said, "Hey, let me return the favor."
Yeah. Yeah, this is the dad for the first film. It's not all tied up with duct tape anymore.
Yeah, that's a better look. Although that's a very interesting hairline he's got. Look at how it goes back and kind of around.
Back and to the left.
Back to the left. That's right. Cute pup.
Yeah. That's a photo from the first film.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's kind of nice about having the same production people work on all the films. You
keep that stuff around.
I mean, I'm sure they didn't know when they, in 1995 when they were filming that it was going to be a...
Yeah. I mean, Wes might have kept it, Neve might have kept it, or they just could have left it in a prop warehouse.
And what is this shit?
Yeah, the getting into... I mean, you're going to do a dream sequence, you got the right director for it.
Right, he even put in the little mist that he used in Nightmare 1.
But it's all kind of like oddly convenient that she just starts to have these dreams and nightmares and recollections right when plot elements are going to start coming up about her mother's past. So
yeah, it's pretty convenient.
Yeah.
This is like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Oh.
She doesn't have a horse, though, so it's not exactly like...
Oh.
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know. It's this is really the thread that bothers me.
Yeah.
But she's so good.
Oh, yeah. There's no blemish on her in this entire franchise at all. She's 100% all the time.
Oh, and you're right. She was definitely growing in popularity at this point.
Yeah,
she was... she'd been in several movies. She was on TV.
Yeah, she was still doing Party of Five, and she was doing a film called Drowning Mona at the time where, actually, in that film, her hair had, like, highlights in it. So she's wearing a wig this entire film.
This is a wig for this one?
Yeah.
Is that my neighbor there?
So McCarthy.
Yeah.
She's in St. Charles now, isn't she? I was looking this up.
Yeah, she lives 10 minutes down the road from me. Her and Donnie.
Yeah, Wahlburgers.
God, she is a grade A psychopath. And
we don't need to get into anti-vaxxer stuff here.
I'm not a fan. Yeah, she's of that ilk.
Yes.
For sure. But, yeah, not a fan. But she does live 10 minutes down the road from me.
I should have gotten her for the... come in for a guest spot.
Guest spot, right. We just,
it's like, who are these jokers?
Yeah, knock on the door. Hey, can we get a quote? What was that shitty MTV show she used to do with...
Singled Out?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Oh, God. Bad. I mean, she was definitely white hot around this time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's coming off of MTV. 1995, I think, or 96 might have been, was her WrestleMania appearance, I think.
Oh, yeah, with the Sean and Diesel.
Yeah. Might have been 95.
That's 95,
yeah. At 11.
One of the worst manias of all time.
It's terrible.
Awful.
But she was white hot at the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know. Like, she is attractive, I guess.
Nah.
I mean, it's I love that she's trying to put this thing back together. She, you know, I get the appeal. I just feel like some of her personal, real life decisions have
clouded things.
Yeah, they've clouded my appeal. But her husband is a hell of an actor.
Damn straight.
He's done some, you know, he's done some horror. We may cover him in he's in a Saw film.
Okay.
He's the star of Saw 2. Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, New Kids on the Block, which I've seen in concert a few times. Yeah, and I assume there's a Wahlburgers opening up very close to us. I assume that she'll be there with him for that grand opening, which one of my very good friends is, I mean, die-hard New Kids fan.
Okay.
She is the person I've attended said concerts with. She travels the country visiting Wahlburger restaurants. So she's very excited about this one.
Well, if Sticks opened a restaurant, you'd be the same way.
Yeah, I suppose I would. Or Kiss. Kiss. I mean, there's
a Kiss diner somewhere. Why is there not a Kiss diner somewhere?
Well, they
come on, Gene. They've got something. They got like a bar or something.
They do.
Somewhere.
Gene and Paul have a chain called Rock and Brews.
Okay, yeah.
It's a brewery, and they have memorabilia all over, and it's like MTV videos playing on the screen. I have been to one of those in St. Louis. It was amazing. The food was great. The atmosphere was even better. I mean, you can tell that it's like a Kiss property, but it
they don't half-ass it.
It feels like kind of like a rock. What was the Hard Rock Cafe? Only without as much memorabilia and done better.
Yeah.
It's like if the Hard Rock Cafe were a sports bar.
Okay.
Is the feel?
Yeah. Okay.
And it's a great atmosphere. If you can find wherever you are, find yourself a Rock and Brews pub and go check them out. And I'm pretty sure that Paul made the menu. Like, I feel like at least the pizzas part.
Okay.
Paul has like a brick oven pizza at his house in California, and so he all of the pizzas are his recipes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, he's great. Sorry, we digressed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is cool, right?
Yeah.
It's a very specific knife.
Yes.
And I think we touched on this. Like, you can't just find that knife anywhere. Mm-hmm. And it's always the same knife, even though this is so many years later. And she's got the rubber one.
The rubber stuff.
I mean, it would be awesome to be in a prop department somewhere. Like, just to visit one.
Oh, yeah.
What is that thing on the back counter there? With a dummy with a thing. Whoopsie.
It's into you.
Sorry. So even though I don't dislike her, I still, don't wish death upon her.
No.
Unlike the last one we covered.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Now you've got me looking for cameos everywhere in this movie. I feel like everybody's somebody. David Arquette is a treat, by the way. I did not... I was at a reunion panel, and there were many, many people from the first film there. Sadly, Courteney was not available, but most of the rest of them were... no Barrymore, obviously, because she's way too big for doing a convention in the middle of nowhere. But, Skeet Ulrich was talked about, even though he was not there.
Okay.
But Matthew Lillard was there, and He is amazing. And Arquette was there, and Neve, and the whole batch. Fun. And this is like she's trying to make nice with him, or he's just being a dick.
Well, she's criticizing him about kind of cuddling up to the pseudo allegory version of Gale.
Oh, the Parker Posey character.
Yeah. Like he wants to be with Gale, but he doesn't want to be with the real Gale.
Right.
Because he can't deal with all this conflict they've had.
And she's in full investigator mode, trying to figure out
full blown.
The plot twist of the Sidney Prescott mom, Maureen. Well,
Prescott. That's not even come up yet. She's just trying to figure out there's Cotton's been killed in this situation.
Well, no, it did come up because she saw the photo that said it was left it, and she's the one who identified it.
Yeah. Dempsey came in. Yeah.
Right. So
we talked over Dempsey.
We did a bit.
We glossed over
Dempsey has great hair in this movie. By the way,
I think Dempsey's one of the best things in this movie, and he doesn't because he's so good. We don't get nearly enough of him. Yeah,
so she's trying to play detective now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see? He says you're not a detective. Look at that. This is hilarious.
She's such a wreck.
She's such a great actress, too. Nancy Drew. Yeah, you're right. There's something about Courteney that's just not as appealing with that hairdo.
Yeah. So the hairdo, I think she probably slimmed down a little bit more. I don't know.
Ah, now we see why she's so paranoid.
Yeah. People are killed in the order they die in the script, so everyone's paranoid that someone on the film. So.
This is funny because they're
already bickering like they're married.
They are, and she's like jealous, but playing coy. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird, but it's good.
Yeah,
it's a good dynamic. And really, if we didn't have that stupid, mother storyline, the Sidney Prescott or Maureen Prescott. I keep saying the other one. It's been a long day, folks.
Warburton's retort here. Dewdrop.
Dewdrop. Dewdrop is amazing.
It's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not really good at catching the killer. He keeps getting stabbed every time this stuff happens.
Yeah.
Carted out on a gurney.
Yeah, he's 2 for 2 with gurneys now.
Yeah, he's no good. He's no good at this. Yeah, that hair, man.
And here they're referencing other movies.
Yeah, that fucking hair, man. God damn it.
It's a hell of a coif.
Oh. I like his partner, too. He's really kind of... He's just kind of jaded in a certain way. He's cynical.
I feel like a lot of cops are that way.
Yeah. Dempsey's so charming, man. He's got so much charisma.
Oh yeah, David Putty's gonna protect her. Oh, keeping the ending off the internet is probably a reference to the second one.
Yeah.
Interestingly, this is very vivid to me.
Mm-hmm.
At the panel that I was at, the roommate, the black lady in 2, actually said during the panel, she was part of the panel I was on, and she said there was a version of the script where I was the killer, which you mentioned.
Yeah.
And some of the people in the film, in the first film, that were on the dais didn't know that. They were like, "Wait, really?" So she broke the news to them, and I'm pretty sure that we covered that on our commentary.
It's on Wikipedia and IMDb.
Well, I'm sure they
don't go sniffing around.
Matthew Lillard has better things to do with his life than
I would hope so. But I'm just saying it's at least been, for the fans' sake, it's been available knowledge for a long time.
Right.
We're so going to get into this character later on.
The
director.
The director character?
Oh.
What would you call that style of shirt? The print. I mean, it's not like a Hawaiian.
It's a $2 Goodwill shirt.
Could be. Well, the production budget is, they at this point they had to spend so much money on Arquette and Cox Arquette and Campbell. Whoever owns that dog got a payday.
Oh.
You ever think about that?
Damn straight.
Like, you see a dog, I see somebody owns that dog, and that dog's owner said, "I want a contract."
It's really hard to tell that it's a wig to my eyes.
It doesn't look like a wig. Usually, I don't think that's a wig.
Well, they said it was on the commentary track.
Usually,
I don't know if it
maybe
was the
some
case
scenes
for some of the reshoots later on, but I would imagine this was principal photography here.
That usually when you wear a wig, no matter
you got that little netting.
There's a very thin line.
Yeah, the right hairline just kind of.
And this,
it's a little too clean.
It's a clean line, and you can actually usually see it.
Yeah.
And here, like, you can see the roots coming out of the side of her head there. I feel like that's her real hair.
Yeah.
We may have to see above her eye there how the roots come out of her forehead. I feel like that's.
So I don't know how they. I don't know the full process or anything that they did here. So
maybe it's certain scenes. Yeah. We'll have to be on the hunt now to see if maybe later on.
Yeah.
What is she worried about? She's not in the movie.
Well, no, because someone with the voice changer thing just called her out of nowhere.
Oh, right.
And called her Sydney, where she has been using the name Sydney on this helpline. Someone has found her, and she's terrified now.
Makes sense. Warburton's great. He's actually gotten way more work, I think, as a voice actor than he has.
I'm sure
an actor. There's more good hair too. Not her. She looks terrible. He's chewing on that cigarette. Really? That gal with the pixie haircut is playing Sydney in this movie? You can see I've blocked out most of this, folks. It's like I'm trying to watch this for the first time. I just watched it 6 months ago. I guess it just doesn't really make a lot of sense, the mystery of it.
Yeah.
It's really a stretch.
Yeah.
How do you feel about those red leather pants she's got on?
Nah.
No, me either.
I don't know who was doing the wardrobe on this one. It's not a winner for her this time.
And is Friends off the air at this point?
No, I think it ended in like 2004.
Yeah, I guess that sounds right.
You know who she looks like in this one? She looks like Margot Kidder.
You're right, actually.
Again, I think she lost a little bit of weight from when they did the last film, so she's got a little more, not so much gaunt, but that's the closest thing I can come up with. The cheekbones and everything else kind of accentuate more of this film.
Yeah. Dewdrop. There's just not a lot going on here in this movie.
Yeah, there's not a lot of kills building up.
Yeah, it's not a lot of action. It's
a lot of talking.
A lot of being afraid and wondering what's going to happen,
right,
as opposed to things happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
I understand wanting to have some sort of like mystery, and I don't even mind like the photos,
some kind of compulsion to have like a big reveal of something that kind of like make it feel like a bigger film in a certain way in terms of the story, instead of just like it's another killer and you gotta figure out who the killer is. They want to have something overarching in a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just a murder mystery. It's let's drop clues and you know, these extra little,
and retcon the backstory of the whole franchise, which
it's getting more like Saw films every day.
These photos look so bad.
Well,
they're so photoshopped.
The Parker Posey one is worse.
Well, yeah, the foreground and background are both in focus.
Yeah, that's a good clue. I mean,
you can't do that.
Even the best photographers will say it's one of the other folks.
Yes.
His name is Steve Stone.
Steve Stone,
like the famed baseball broadcaster,
yes.
Steve Stone. Doesn't he work for your White Sox now?
He does.
He worked for my Cubs for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Does he do? He's still got a...
Those old photo blocks.
Yeah.
Man, those were hot back then. Look at that, like, 2-pound bag of coffee he's got sitting on the microwave. Look at that. That's nice. And no more David Putty. Steve Stone.
Yeah.
I like that he just says fucker. That's great. He's resourceful, that Ghostface. Isn't there a rapper called Ghostface Killa?
Yeah, yeah.
Killa, I think.
Yeah.
Killa.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have to pay royalties on that?
I don't know.
Did he trademark? Isn't Ghostface trademarked by Miramax or whoever this is?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking maybe, I don't know if there was some kind of court case. I have no clue.
I mean, these...
Like
I feel like this is a kind of a...
They just materialized once they walked into frame. You didn't see them walking across the room.
Right. But those musical stingers, too, really just make it comical, almost.
Yeah. The film, I mean, there was... Because getting into development of the film, this takes place... Shot in '99, shortly after certain terrible things happened in real life. Columbine.
Yep.
And everyone's like... violence in movies, stuff like that, and they're getting kind of twitchy about having the film being violent and gory, and wanted to lean more into the comedy of everything. And so Wes kept pushing back against it. So again, our savior, Wes, is like, if we're not going to make it violent, then why are we cannot? There's no reason to make it a Scream film. Either we're going to do a Scream film and do it right, as well, more or less, or we're going to just do something else and call it something else. If we're going to throw all the violence out and just make it a comedy, then this is not a Scream film.
Right.
So, but you can still see that I mean, there's a lot of these supporting characters are played a little bit more towards the comedy edge instead of a dramatic edge.
And here's some Wes Craven's New Nightmare type script to screen.
Oh yes, yes. I'm saying that this almost looks like the place he had as his house in that movie with the big pool in the back or something.
Right.
Some Hollywood Hills joint.
Which wasn't his house, but it was somebody's house.
I think it was probably Malibu or something, but yeah, it was someone...
It was like Bob Shaye's house, or...
No. I think it was
Look at that
I think it was a film
blow-up.
producer's house somewhere.
That's not CGI.
That's not CGI, but...
We're right on the cusp of CGI taking over everything.
Yeah. That was actually a model shot they did.
For the house blow?
Yeah.
Oh. Well done, you fooled me.
Whereas if you want to get into nitpicky, there's like... Could the house fill with that much gas and no one smell it and be able to blow the place up that big in that short amount of time?
Yeah, I feel like you really have to have sealed off.
Yeah, you've got the whole back door wide open and the front door is open too.
Right. That wouldn't blow.
No.
I mean, you could blow the line, but it wouldn't blow the house like that.
You want to get a Rennie Harlan explosion out of that.
Right.
Oh.
They really are leaning on the comedy, aren't
Yeah.
they? Where'd the killer go? He rolled under the vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see? Look at me. I thought her door was open. Maybe I'm wrong.
Hmm.
I thought you hit him too.
Mm-hmm.
I shot him 6 times. Or 7, depending on which version you're watching. I know that's an oldie, but a goodie. Oh no.
Right there, he looks a little bit more like Dewey in the first film with the hair. Yeah, it's a nice thing when they kind of get thrown down the hill and both of them are calling for him and he goes to the real Gale.
Yeah.
So. She's very needy. It wouldn't hurt her to just wait a little while. Gale can take care of herself. If she's calling for help, she needs help.
There's like a tension here of like...
Mm-hmm. Something gonna happen?
It's got something on the back. How did you know to turn it over? This is... Yeah, we're really starting to get knee-deep in backstory.
Yeah.
And
because...
we're adding killers now. There were already 2.
Right, you're it'd be somewhat okay if it was planned to be this from the very beginning of the franchise and you had enough stuff laid in to kind of trigger something off. It's like, okay, now that makes more sense now than it did before, but obviously that's not the way it's figured out.
Oh no.
Not by a long shot. Because, again, none of this was Williamson's idea. I don't know the exact story he was going for, but there was a main thing that it wasn't going to be Hollywood. It was going to be back in Woodsboro again, and to be kind of like this almost slightly stuff that was done in the next film. Like there's almost like a stab sort of movie club in a certain way, and they're all in on the whole thing, and they do this entire elaborate thing of they all go around and try and kill. It seems like they're killing one another. Someone's killing them all off, but then they reveal that they're all behind it at the end of the film or something like that.
Like that everyone was in.
Yeah, so none of this was any idea that Williamson had. None of this weird backstory stuff and complicating timelines. No. None of this was his stuff.
I was going to say, up until this scene just now, I was going to say...
it's been a long time.
It's been a while since she's been on screen.
Right.
Like, she feels absent from the movie.
Exactly the point. Too many of her scenes are completely isolated from the rest of the plot. I was just getting distracted by the hairline again. It looks a little matted down.
It does. This looks more wiggish.
Yeah.
But maybe not. I don't know. I'm like really scoping it out. I'm not even paying attention to the movie.
And it's nice she's wearing the necklace that O'Connell gave her in the last film.
Oh, so yeah.
That was apparently Neve's idea.
She's full of ideas. It's almost like she's a real celebrity.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Again, meta.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the film up to this point is dealing with all these supporting characters. A lot of these new characters don't amount to much of anything.
Yeah,
because they're just there to build up the body count. There's not a lot of new characters that have enough sort of substance and traction into the story to really connect with them, like you had O'Connell in the last film, or no one can really touch Randy in a certain way, but those types of characters that you took time to build personalities, endear them to the audience, stuff like that, you can get a connection with them.
Like, you're legit mad when Randy dies.
Yes. And you have an anguish when O'Connell, when Mickey's kind of twisting things around and gets her against Jerry O'Connell there in that scene. Then when he gets killed, you feel an anguish there. So
even Lillard's character Stu, like, even though he's the heel, you still kind of like, you have a reaction because
he's kind of pathetic, and you kind of pity him in a certain way,
right? Like, it's not often you feel bad for the bad guy, but you kind of do with him, and the fact that you have any reaction whatsoever means that it's well done. And, how many people cared about Jenny McCarthy here?
Exactly. I mean, she had like a scene and a half up to the point that she got killed. And now we introduce Randy's sister out of nowhere. A character's never been mentioned anywhere in the previous two films. To introduce a contrived element in the story.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically our midpoint.
It feels like it. They're about,
this doesn't feel like enough to
justify it as much. I mean, it's an unexpected turn, but I don't think it really affects anything in the rest of the film. I mean, they pulled it back from their worst judgment and kind of almost making him have the Dewey type of role, that he gets slashed and stuff like that, and then miraculously ends up surviving in secret somewhere. It would have been really awful. This is at least I could see Randy doing this in the events of the second film.
Yeah.
It makes enough sense, but let me explain rules of a trilogy, which I can really get into. That none of it really sounds that justifiable in a certain way. We're getting here.
Yeah, he loves the rules.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, up to the year 2000, how many film trilogies can you name? Like Godfather, Star Wars...
Indiana Jones, Back to the Future.
Evil Dead, but even then their continuity was awful. And how many would adhere to these rules that he's giving out in this whole thing, where in the third film you get a twist in the whole thing, everything gets retconned, you look back on the other films in a completely different light because there's new revelations and it changes the complexion of everything. It almost never happens because they're never planned that way.
Yeah. Most of them aren't written as a trilogy.
Right. Even Return of the Jedi, yeah, there is a moment in there where they reveal that Princess Leia is Luke's sister, but it's such a throwaway scene that amounts to nothing in the film that even Lucas kind of was so wishy-washy on doing in the previous, building up on the previous two films, it doesn't mean anything ultimately in the whole trilogy. So
unlike the Laurie Strode sister angle, which
completely changed everything,
ruins everything.
Yeah.
Therefore, forward.
Yeah. So that's one of the only things. Like, there's not really, if you're writing a trilogy from the beginning and plotting it out that way, I can understand that. But most movie trilogies, at least up to that point, were not adhering to this sort of mentality.
Agreed.
Yeah. It just happened to be trilogies most times.
That's got to be, that's our midpoint, is Randy explaining the rules of a trilogy is...
Yeah. And there's that, I think, because right after this, Sidney goes on to the set of Woodsboro and gets chased around. So I think probably those in conjunction are probably enough, I guess.
Yeah.
As loose as the story's been up to this point. Because even as we kind of hit on a little bit of the pacing issues in a second, they're at least taking time with enough of the new characters to build them up to a certain degree. You have these moments with Jerry O'Connell's character and a few other people in the film that at least had a little bit of something to use valuable screen time towards a proper to a proper effect in the storytelling of the film.
Right.
This so far has been kind of, as you said, is a little kind of running around, not really having a lot of horror moments in the whole thing. We're not getting enough traction in the story, is what I'm kind of getting at.
Even the death scenes have been kind of meh.
Right. Again, as they were talking about in the second film, body count's always got to be bigger. The
here's
more elaborate.
Your sign on any old random.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead.
But yeah, in the second film, they say death scenes have to be more elaborate, the bigger body count. In this film, in my DVD booklet here, there's actually fewer kills in this movie than there were in the second film.
Yeah, I would buy that.
Yeah. There's at least one fewer kill altogether than there was in the last movie. And speaking of Princess Leia, apparently because they had Carrie here, she was actually doing more script doctoring on the film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's too many cooks.
Too many cooks. I really need to kind of look up what she actually... Because usually script doctors, they don't get any writing credits or whatnot. They get paid, but they don't get credit.
Right.
Because they're not doing enough overhaul in the script to get that big of a percentage for WGA rules. But I'd have to really kind of look up what films she actually worked on, because everyone kept saying she was fantastic. But everything I kept hearing people say that she worked on doctoring this film, she worked on script doctoring the Star Wars prequels, and these are all bad movies.
Well,
they're bad scripts. So I'd have to look into exactly what other stuff she did that made her so acclaimed doing this stuff.
I tell you what, it wasn't. It wasn't the perfection that is When Harry Met Sally.
She's in that, right?
Written by the great Nora Ephron. One of my probably top 10 favorite movies of all time.
At least Carrie's still looking good in this film.
Yeah, she looks okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a little heavy on the makeup.
No.
Isn't everyone? But yeah, she looks good.
Yeah.
They're Roger Corman films, by the way.
They are. They really are.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. But I mean,
well, this goes back to saying I was at least saying in the first film that when you had the first film and they're referencing real movies that we know about, that we have a real world context to know what they mean when they're talking about it. This entire film is completely all fictional movies.
Right.
No one really, aside from probably like the
Seven and Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, that stuff. Everything else is all fictional movie studios, fictional directors, fictional actors, fictional movies that have no real world context for any of the audience to have any kind of grasp onto, because you have to create all this fictionalized Hollywood stuff in the film that it just feels kind of frivolous to me.
Right. What I meant was Roger Corman style B movies.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure, yeah.
And I only said that because he had a cameo.
Yeah.
I don't think those are actual Corman films.
Well, I was just checking before I said what I just said.
I don't...
yeah.
Oh, dear. I mean, how... What in the world could they... How could they explain this and have it make sense to anybody?
She was stealing props from the film, is all they say. But why is she hiding in the bathroom?
Right. Well, and conveniently, she was there when the house blew up, and... I don't know. Like, are you trying to misdirect me to think that this pixie haircut is the killer?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, even I can only imagine when I first saw this, like I wasn't playing that game in my head about being inquisitive who the killer is.
Well, no, because I don't care about anybody.
No, you don't care. These characters haven't had any time to develop. I mean, most of the time is spent with Dewey and Gale just chit-chattering about the relationship and a little bit about the mystery going on. No one else has enough screen time to develop themselves to make them either an engaging character to be sympathetic with, or to be suspicious about them enough about what they're doing.
Right, you don't know enough about them
right.
to either care or
right, and they don't have
not
any
care.
And most of them don't have any real relationship to our recurring cast to really kind of have anything kind of spark or connect or feel like there's any kind of interconnection from the cast of this Stab 3 to the people we've been living with in this franchise.
How weird would it be to walk onto a set and see your house?
Yeah. Of course, watching this again, I was like, are they doing a remake? Because they stage because they'll go over the Stu's garage in a moment, so it's set up exactly as it was for Tatum's kill in the first film.
Which is Rose McGowan,
right?
Who was also present at that panel that I was at.
Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, they've gone ahead in this recreation of the entire Woodsboro stuff, all the locations of the original film, and staged them exactly as they were in the original film.
Wasn't that the plot of Stab 1?
Exactly. Why are they having to refilm the exact same scenes if they already did them in the first movie?
And likely referenced those in the second one.
Yeah. I was very confused.
It is.
It doesn't make any sense.
I never thought of that, but now that you say it, now I'm pissed.
Right.
Creed poster. Now I'm even more pissed.
Sydney ain't no Creed fan.
She may have been. I think like that might have been on the wall in her original.
Well, Creed's on the soundtrack for this movie.
Oh, so it was a payday.
They had a music video.
Of course they did.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they?
I think Arquette's in it. I think he's in the music video.
Well,
so
good for him.
Oh.
He's fresh off Ready to Rumble. And then actually becoming the real world's champion.
Yes, a few months after this film's released.
And he's still doing wrestling.
Yes, indeed.
It's a very detailed set.
Yes.
It's like a set production design.
Mm-hmm. Which is also slightly... Because we saw the footage from Stab in the beginning of the previous film, and they didn't use the exact same house that Drew Barrymore's character was in. They used a different location.
Right.
So they weren't recreating the exact locations from real life.
Right.
That they were adapting.
Especially with that minutia
yeah.
of, poster on the wall,
right.
purse in the
right.
closet.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I'm very confused about what they're shooting here.
What the script is.
There you go. Throw a ficus at him.
Ficus.
And the USA Today.
There.
Oh, now see, I like that.
Yeah.
Because she forgets that it's not the real house.
Yeah. Oh.
On the bed.
Should have gone through a table.
That might have been my boy Tony. When you're 2 stories up, you can't tell that he's only 4'8".
That's forced perspective.
That's right. He's not 4'8", but he's like, I don't know, 5'3" or something. He's a tiny little guy.
He's a stocky fella.
Yeah, well, he is now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was then. Super cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, now we're getting back into all. I mean, this is staged as Maureen's death scene, where it seems almost like, okay, well, is the script for Stab 3 basically the exact same type of thing that we're going through now, or we're going to the backstory and we're changing things? I have no idea. This is very strange.
And she's actually legitimately hearing these sound bites,
yes.
Right? It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Like, at all.
No.
I love that he's running like he's got a wooden leg.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, look at her.
I mean, she's so good that it shows why the rest of the film doesn't work as well, because she's not in as much of it. As much as you like some of the other recurring characters, they're supporting roles for a particular reason. They're not the main focus of the story. You need to have Sydney there as the emotional driving force of the narrative. Because if the story's all about her, you need to have her at the forefront.
Is she our main character?
It's hard to argue for that. Because there's so many long stretches in the film, like after this, she's not involved with what's going on. She sits around in a room.
Right.
She sits around the precinct for like the next 20 minutes in this movie.
You'd almost argue that either Gale or Dewey is the main character.
Right. Also the fact that up to this point, the killer hasn't been invested in trying to mainly kill either one of them.
He's playing the Roger Corman role, essentially.
More or less, yeah.
The producer of B movies.
Yeah. And as we get on further into the revelations of the plot, you could almost say he's a Weinstein.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a...
Which is... As much as we love Lance, I don't feel sleaze from his performance. I don't...
Well, no.
That's not his style of acting.
Well, he has a certain aura about him.
Yeah.
That, you know...
A gruffness.
You don't...
Yeah.
Right. He's respectable.
Yeah.
Unlike a Weinstein... You know,
Yeah.
Bob Weinstein looks like a sleazeball.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Roger Corman is a, you know, straight out of central casting of, you know, like old school...
Yeah,
you know,
old school Hollywood.
Gimmick director.
Yeah. Like a William Castle type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this guy looks like a professional.
Yeah. I mean, not saying that he would take like a Philip Seymour Hoffman. I could see him kind of leaning into that. I could see that.
Yeah, because he can play sleaze.
Yeah.
I mean, he can now, but he could then.
He can't play much anything now.
That's right.
Sadly. But yeah, I mean, in the first film, you got the whole thing that Maureen does sleep around. He slept with Billy's father, and the whole thing with Cotton and everything. So I mean, there's that, but I just feel like this pushes it so far down the sleaze hole, whatever you want to call it.
The sleaze hole.
Push it so far into rolling around in the sleaze that it's like, I don't know, it washes away a lot of things.
And as it's been pointed out here, Gale Weathers is not a police officer.
No.
Or a detective.
She's not really working for a news organization, as far as we can tell in this whole thing. She's just like, she's an author now.
And
she's a lecturer.
Dewey also not a cop in this movie.
He's a technical advisor.
So... Are the real cops doing anything? I mean...
Well, he's been trying to do shit.
I just don't understand why they haven't come to the same conclusions that...
Yeah.
You know...
Right. Why are we spending so much time with the two characters, despite them being recurring? Why are they so far ahead of the plot than the actual cops?
Right. That's what I was getting at.
Why isn't Dempsey there in Henriksen's office leaning into him?
With them.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, because he's here making googly eyes.
Well, right, because Neve's got to have another scene somewhere, and her schedule's so tied up that you probably can't... You have to write yourself into a certain hole.
Sleaze hole.
Sleaze hole.
But look at that head of hair.
Yeah. You can't be Ghostface. You can't stick that hair under that mask.
No.
It's not going to work.
You'd either have mask hair or...
Yeah, it'd be all matted down there. It'd be a mess.
Look like Gale Weathers.
Not doing that to that hair, man.
Gale Weathers could mat it down, right?
Oh, yeah.
She could be the Ghostface. Ghostface killer.
Yeah.
Trademarked. Yeah, there's just not a lot going on here.
Yeah. Because again, I mean, it really kind of goes back to the narrow window when she's available compared to the 3/4 extra time they have filming the rest of the movie. It's like, okay, we have to write all these scenes to be as contained as possible so we don't have so many elements that we have to schedule around and have large, elaborate sequences. She just has to have a bunch of kind of sit-down dialogue scenes.
Yeah, and you can't, like, rewrite and go, oh, I've got a better idea.
Yeah.
Let's do this instead.
Right.
Oh, wait, she's not available.
Yes. It's just a matter of bad timing is what it was. This entire production, I don't know why they decided to, what it was that made them do it 2 years later. I know, I think Wes had done that Music of the Heart movie between them. Yeah. Was that Meryl?
It was.
So that might have been why they put it on pause. He went off and did something that wasn't genre material because he just wanted to do something different. And then that comes back around, and then all these other elements. Williamson's not available. He's too jammed up with other stuff. Neve's got too many other projects he's already locked into. So you're not going to delay it yet another year and fear that things are going to cool off too much for the franchise. So it's kind of getting into skittish type of things for the producers. They want to get it out there. They don't want to wait too long and lose it. So
you kind of just go with the hand you're dealt.
Yeah. Again, this one came out in February, and they were doing reshoots a month before that. Reshooting stuff for the end of the film.
That was a... we're going to get swerved here that was some sort of like voice changer thing. That wasn't the actual Sydney.
No, it's not. She's still at the
police station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear we haven't even seen the black character there. I think his name's Dion, the actual actor. I don't think we've seen him since like
that front porch scene. Yeah,
no, since like McCarthy got killed.
Right.
Which feels like it was like 40 minutes ago.
That's about right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
again, this director character, he's had no time to do anything. He's had next to no screen time to have any impact on anything in the film.
And this entire scene is really built on the creating the misdirection and the mystery.
Yeah, this is about allegory to when the party starts at Stu's place in the first film.
Oh, okay.
That's at least what I'm in terms of structure of the story. That's where we're getting towards. It doesn't feel as much like that because there's a lot more energy.
It's a different kind of party, but
right. But in terms of just the structure,
the timeline,
we've now got an isolated set of characters in a slightly remote location. That this is the point where everyone's going to start getting picked off in a more regular fashion.
I suggest we all split up and search the house.
Yes. Suggest for all to draw straws. It's you and me, honey bunch.
I never would have drawn that parallel until just now when you said, isolated location and characters.
Yeah. But going into that part of the first film, there was a lot more energy in the film at that point. This feels
it's plotting.
It's plotting.
Yeah, it's just slow.
And there's nothing in the film that's picked up momentum at all.
And it's not even his house, right?
No, this is Henriksen's house.
Right. Okay.
Despite the fact that we'll get there. It's just weird that, okay, invite you all over to my house or to have a big party or whatnot, but no one questions why he's not there.
Well, he did just now.
Okay, well, the one person out of, 6 or 7?
Right, the one that was a former cop.
Yeah. That late 90s phone.
There it is. That's the one that called me. There's your voice changer.
Star 69, this son of a bitch. Which again...
And now there's multiple voices?
Yeah. Which again, I mean, it's been kind of a kitschy trick for the audience in a certain way to kind of just play on things, but up until just forcing them to be in this location, and it hasn't had any kind of plot significance.
Right. I mean, they were able to replicate Neve Campbell's voice.
Yeah.
To lure them here, but...
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, it hasn't
factored into...
Like, Jenny McCarthy didn't get a, you know...
Right, well, yeah, she gets a call from who she believes is the director to just sit down there and have this stupid conversation about script rewrites, and then the killer just shows up, the killer anyway, so it's like, it doesn't drive the plot in different directions, is the thing.
Well,
it's a nice gimmick.
I guess you could have gone under the assumption that the director was then the killer up until this point.
Well, even then, we had right at the beginning of the film when killer calls Cotton and the killer's using a different modulated voice, and then right before he kills Cotton, you see the thing in front of his face, which is a completely different prop than we've had in the previous films, and the killer was using Cotton's voice behind the door when he was hunting the girlfriend at the beginning of the film, so it was already given away.
Yeah, and this is now the fourth or fifth different voice.
Yeah. I mean, if it was used more towards the end of confusing the characters themselves, instead of like, okay, I'm going to call someone up and use someone else's voice, but then at a certain point I'm just going to switch that off and go back to the regular ghost killer voice, it doesn't add up to anything that affects the story. If it was used towards the end, like the killer's impersonating certain people to drive them in different directions and make them suspect people here and there, that would work towards the paranoia and the suspense of the movie, because you wouldn't know who's who when you're getting these calls and everything. It would work towards some degree, but it doesn't. It doesn't factor into anything, really.
And, oof, you're right that it's like, it's not even the same prop.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the first film, it was just a
little sort of voice box thingamajigger.
Right, it had one.
Yeah.
How does this one even work? You know what I mean? Like, what's the technology that would be able to replicate somebody's voice?
Right.
Obviously, you know, in the real world, they just used the real actor.
Yeah.
But you can't... What do you mean? He's got our voices. Like, how do you obtain a voice?
Right. I mean, anytime you ever see someone like, oh, this is a recording of someone's voice that implicates them, it's usually like you spliced up a bunch of tape or whatnot to kind of construct false sentences with their names.
Right.
You're not able to...
Like a soundboard kind of thing.
It's not the Terminator here.
Yeah, I mean, like, the entire premise of, here's a box and the voices are inside of it, take me out of the story, because it's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
And improbable.
Right. I mean, I can't go on Amazon and buy something that I can just like, oh, let me just take a few lines of
my
words
dialogue
of your voice,
and all of a sudden,
and any word I want to say is going to come out exactly sounding like you. It just that's a good stunt there.
That was a good stunt.
Like, why is this guy getting the worst of it? You know, his neck was probably almost broken there, and then he gets smashed around and thrown out the window.
And do we care?
He's had like 4 minutes of screen time.
We absolutely don't care.
He was gone for half the movie.
Yeah, 40 minutes or so. You're right. This movie's so dark and, like...
Yeah.
Mysterious.
It's like it's almost wanting to look like a Fincher movie or something.
Well, he did reference Seven.
Yeah.
Oh, the old one-way mirror.
And soundproof. They actually built it soundproof. So whenever Wes wanted to direct someone on the other side of the thing, you'd have to walk all the way around the set to talk to them.
Oh, wow. It's not like... You couldn't even do it like a music studio where you have the button and it...
You should. You could have just built in a speaker for him to talk, but I guess no one really thought that far ahead.
Well, he could have also very well said, make it soundproof, and then somebody took him literal.
Yeah. I think her death here just feels very anticlimactic. She should have been thrown out the window. She should have gotten the black guy's death instead. That felt like a very anticlimactic death for such an important character.
She is the only one of any of them that was given any substance.
Yeah.
And you actually disliked her.
To a certain extent. She's endearing, but she's also annoying.
Right. And so...
one of the great feats of the film, that they created a really good character and they found a really good actress to do their part, and was there...
And they squandered her death.
Yeah.
You're right. Her getting thrown out the window would have been...
Yeah. And apparently there were some people thinking... On Wes's commentary, there apparently some people thought at the time that Dewey shot her and killed her accidentally. So the death isn't even clear that she got stabbed to death either. So, and also,
I thought she got shot.
Oh, see, there you go.
Just watching it now, I thought she got shot.
And also, it's like, okay, well, why did you have to shoot at every single mirror? Why didn't you just shoot at one, go in there, and
then see? Yeah.
Why did you have to shoot them all out? So.
Because it takes 30 extra seconds.
Right.
You got to beef up that screenplay.
Oh, jeez.
How do I know it's really you? And not that thing with the voices.
There we go. Finally, someone with a sense.
And it's Dewey, of all people.
Dewey.
There's no more bullets left in that gun.
1 + 2 + 2 + 1.
That's right.
It's 1 + 2 + 1 + 1. No, it was 1 + 2 + 2 + 1. It's all over the place.
The wipe-off gag.
Yeah. You should
dominoes.
You should just had Dr. Loomis's gun. It has endless bullets.
That's right.
He never reloads. Again, the entire climax is going on, and for half of it, she's not even there.
No, she's just sitting here.
Right. Because you would think, if you had the freedom to write the screenplay however you wanted in this context, you wouldn't have bothered luring Dewey and Gale to the whole thing. You'd lure her there. You'd do everything to get her there because that's the end game of the killer.
Yeah, the whole point is to kill her, right?
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense. And now, like, you can... This I can buy, because it's just an echo.
Yeah.
You know. And then that takes you out of it, right?
Right. Why did you have to play the game up front?
Right.
Why is the killer constantly playing these silly games?
Just to show that he can mimic the voice, but again...
It doesn't amount to anything.
And that was like a direct copy. That wasn't...
Yeah.
You know, conversation.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because... When she said, she held the thing down and said, you know, he has our voices. Like, I still am... How would you even... How?
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Again, it's getting contrived in a certain way that somehow the killer knows that she's been having nightmares about her mother and having these visions of her while she's asleep, and then starts to do things to play upon that. So it's like, it doesn't make any sense in that regard.
Again, very first draft-ish.
Yeah. If even a first draft.
And there's still like 20 minutes of this thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's really dragging for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry that this one, I mean, there's just not a lot to talk about. It's like, you know, it's not like bad in the same way that Halloween 5 is bad.
Yeah.
There you go. Theft. It's a very early 2000s look out of her.
Mm-hmm.
With the suede jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Have they... Did I miss where Lance Henriksen actually is at this party?
He's tied up like her father was in the first film.
Okay.
He gets dumped on the scene later.
Have we seen that yet? Or
No,
okay.
no.
I'm like, did I miss something?
We haven't seen him since that office scene.
Okay.
Which again was like half an hour ago.
Yeah.
And again, that's another thing of this whole thing. Is like you introduce characters, you have things happen, but then they disappear for such long stretches, you almost forget what the heck they're...
Right, what are you doing?
Where did you leave off with them? Where are they in the story? What's going on with the narrative? Because, I mean, we keep building this whole thing that it has something to do with her mother's backstory or something like that, but there's no other characters aside from Henriksen's character that has any link towards that. And he's, again, not had that much time in the film. He hasn't had any interactions with Sydney, anything like that whatsoever. It's really just too disconnected. All the characters and the elements are just so scattered out. Nothing's kind of focusing itself as it goes forward. It all just feels like it's all driving on a parallel road.
Right, or diverging.
Yeah.
Not converging.
Exactly.
Ow!
Yeah. Rip off that method mustache.
Yeah, Jesus. That would hurt like a son of a bitch.
Oh, it's a good stunt woman.
Oh, okay. She shot him right in the mouth hole. Whoever that is, he's dead. Ain't no way that you can sell me that he lived. Nope. Uh-uh. Oh, it was Dempsey. It was Dempsey all along.
Dempsey.
It can't be him, because whoever she shot in the face. There's no way.
He's got a great look there. For a moment there, he looks kind of sinister.
Yeah.
He pulls it back.
Yeah, he did that half smile.
Yeah.
He's good.
Again, I love him so much in this film. It's like, Wes did say that they tried to find other ways to bring him into the film, and it worked every single time. He's not in the film nearly enough.
Uh-huh.
He should have been such a driving force in this film. He should have been such a upfront, forefront character.
Yeah, he should have been...
He should have been doing what
Gale
and Dewey have been doing this whole time. He should have been pushing that forward and really kind of leaning into this stuff.
But then we'd have to wonder, what would they have Gale and Dewey be doing,
right?
Other than trying to rekindle their relationship and being jealous of the actress, and I guess that would have been enough.
Yeah. I mean, if you put them in enough peril, because that's the one thing we haven't had up until now, they've never been in peril. They've never been really the focus of the killer's intentions. The only time they're ever in a line of fire or whatnot is when the house explodes. And just because the killer happens to be near Gale, attempts to go after her, but no point ever, in any point else in the film, are they being targeted.
And Sydney's the end game.
Yes.
So, what the hell? Why bother?
Yeah.
With everybody else.
Exactly. I can only imagine that the other kills are to drive her out in a certain way.
Sure.
Possibly. I mean, all you really needed was Cotton being killed, and that's enough to spook the crap out of her.
You saw her face.
Right. Because she doesn't have any connection to any of these other people that are getting offed in the movie. She has
the same amount we do.
She has no awareness of these people whatsoever to have any care for it. So it's just a killer running around making busy work for himself.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And now he had Maureen Prescott's voice in that little gimmick box?
How?
Well, the little box only had 5 buttons on it. He's already had 7 voices in this movie.
Yeah. It's like, how do you get the voice of someone who's been dead for like 5 years? At this point, it's like 5-6 years now.
Okay. The bulletproof vest I will buy. The one that she hit him in the face, I'm not buying. I mean, here we go, introducing new evidence in our closing arguments.
This entire film is that.
I mean, what? You're just creating a story right here.
And it's the one character who's had absolutely like 2 minutes of screen time in this whole goddamn movie. He has no character build-up, no development, no link towards anyone. He has almost the only person he has any kind of relationship with was Jenny McCarthy's character because he banged her or whatnot. Everyone else is just he has nothing. There's nothing with his character.
And now he's
There's no reaction to his reveal because who the fuck is this guy? He's nobody in the movie. He's a wet blanket, and even in this entire sequence, he's a wet blanket.
I mean, the brother-sister angle is really far-fetched.
It's far-fetched, and it doesn't need to exist. It doesn't affect it. It doesn't do anything, is the problem. All it gives is a motivation for the killer, and even then, it's so strained of credibility that I don't know. It's just like, again, there's no build up to it with who you reveal as the killer because he has no screen time to be a character. He's a background character at best in these scenes that he's shown up in.
Right.
You ignore him almost completely.
And his, motivation or whatever regarding the mom and the, the exiled child or whatever has absolutely nothing to do with
psychosis.
Stu and
well, because he's saying He's saying that he presented this. He followed around Maureen Prescott and found out she was sleeping with Billy Loomis's mother, and he gave Billy Loomis the evidence that happened to forge this entire scheme to frame Cotton Weary about killing Maureen and then give the idea for him and Sue to go off and do all the entire killings. He's taking credit for everything that's happened in the franchise.
Which you can't do.
You can't.
Because they would have said in their big reveal.
Right. Why would they have any pretense to hold that information back?
Right. They would have said something about this guy.
Yeah.
And we all would have gone, who?
Yeah.
And then there goes your premise for number 3.
Yeah. And there's Lance.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Like, this really, like, cheapens the first ones.
That's what I hate when you get a sequel like this that wants to retcon stuff that happened earlier in the franchise. It can get to the points of ruining the other films for you. For me, I almost dismiss this because I don't. Mainly because it's not Williamson writing the stuff. This isn't his screenplay. It's not his idea.
Came back for 4, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Williamson has nothing to do with this. He does none of this. This entire film does not get referenced at all in the 4th movie.
Which
Granted,
makes sense.
The second film doesn't get much reference at all either. But if you had this big of a thing, you'd expect some kind of, as we'll get into it when we get there, that there would be talk of familiar connections, stuff like that. Williamson has no interest in dealing with this plot.
Right. Well, he saw how bad the Halloween franchise turned out.
Yeah.
I just want to know how all the killers got the same knife.
Yeah.
Ow.
Stunt people getting a workout here.
That's my boy, Tony.
Doubling Neve.
Probably. Yeah, this is a very stunt-heavy sequence here. Ow. Break a rib. Just went Ike Turner on her there.
Oh.
Look out. They weren't brother-sister. I can't think of any good brother-sister acts of violence.
The Osmonds were too nice.
That's right.
They're not. Donnie's not going off and choking her.
Who's the one that got killed by his own father? Was it Al Green? Let's get it on.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
Marvin
That
Gaye.
was sad, man.
I mean,
apparently, this is part of reshoots. He's wearing a wig now. You can't tell too much. It's too dark.
yeah, you can kind of you can see it.
Not terribly much.
That looks, yeah.
Mm.
You're right. Nobody cares about any of this.
No.
And collectively, all of the audience is going, really? Really?
Yeah. The music's doing the heavy lifting here, and the script ain't.
What are they? They're blanks. You don't shoot a woman in the throat.
Well, I think it ends up being that, because when she was talking on the phone with the killer, they had this sort of ambiguous shot of a bulletproof vest, despite the fact that she's obviously not wearing a bulletproof vest.
So she took it off of him and put it on herself?
No, back at the police station when the killer called.
Oh.
There was a shot where she was looking back over into like the bullpen or whatnot.
The equipment room or
where it was, and then there was a white bulletproof vest hanging on a hanger.
And we're to surmise that she had the wherewithal to put it on.
Apparently.
And you can't see it under her outfit that she's currently wearing because she's got a suede coat on. And she's not even a black man.
Yeah. That's something that always bothers me because they always want to have the dramatic reveal. So in the entire sequence, the actor's not actually wearing the vest. Then you reveal it at a certain point. It's like, especially when it's a woman, you can see their bust and everything. So like a bulletproof vest would make you very flat and bulky.
And you'd see the outline of it around the sides.
Right.
Ow.
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
Yeah, here we go.
No.
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 And we were talking about something else over it, but there was a moment earlier in the scene where he's trying to blame everything else in the world about why he did what he did, and Sidney has this great line saying, "Why don't you take responsibility for your own fucking actions?" Which is Wes commenting back about everyone after the Columbine thing, blaming video games, blaming movies, all that stuff for violence in all the media, all this fictional stuff, the violence in it.
How about just two kids where it went crazy and you don't have
that's Wes jabbing
commentary,
back at these people, yeah. So that was explicitly him saying that back to all these media people trying to blame films for real life violence.
And you're supposed to believe that hand holding means something.
Yeah. Again, the score in the moment does the heavy lifting. The story, the screenplay does not.
Dewdrop. Why does everybody only shoot for the midsection? Is that a cop thing?
I don't know.
Like, shoot him in the knee, shoot him in the shoulder to just disarm him.
Like if there's a Michael Mann film, people going for headshots everywhere, man. Michael Mann films, guys with guns don't waste any fucking time.
No, you shoot him. If that was one shot right there.
Yeah, it's like I've seen Collateral. I can see what Tom Cruise can do with a gun. Double tap and a headshot, you're done.
Double tap. What a great movie, Collateral. Well, this is the first one not to have two killers.
Yeah, which... if you go back to the film and trying to put some of this stuff together, it doesn't all come together, because like in the sequence in the house where Scott Foley's character, the killer, goes down in the basement and then you find him stabbed and bloody. 20 seconds later, the killer's up in the hallway, changed clothes, cleaned himself up, and put himself in the thing to stab the other girl in the hallway.
Yeah, that does not add up.
No. Again, and like in some of the other films, you could kind of say that one person was probably doing the call from a more remote location. The killer's in the next room.
Right, having two makes it...
Right. In
either
this
one
film,
could be in any location.
Like when Warburton gets it, the killer's 5 feet around the corner from him, making the phone call right behind him, and then jumps out and kills him. How you not hear a guy that close behind you talking? It doesn't make sense. Here's
I mean,
real life echo here.
Yeah, you can tell that they're like smitten.
Yeah.
But man, those bangs are bad news.
She's not looking good in this one. I don't like the look at all.
Bad news.
Extra eyeshadow's not doing anything either.
No. And now she's back up on a ranch?
Yeah. My thing was like, is this wooden gate, even if it has this sort of security wire thing for a trigger, it's really secure. Someone comes along with a ladder, you just jump the gate, you're inside.
Yeah, I mean, that's only a 4-foot fence.
Yeah. And of course, again, this ranch is clearly out in the middle of a canyon somewhere.
Right.
I don't think the police response is going to be like a couple of minutes.
Right.
If that alarm gets tripped and cops are going to come,
it's
by
a
the time
half-hour
they get
drive,
here,
yeah.
I'm not betting on your chances.
When are you just going to leave the door?
It's symbolism. That she's not going to be afraid now. That she feels like
I get
she's
why
turned the corner and everything, all this stuff. So nah.
I get it,
but
boo. I mean, yeah.
It's too limp, lackadaisical of a script. I mean, I understand what they were up against in terms of the scheduling of everything.
Right.
But it doesn't excuse the overall scripting of it all. When you got too many disposable characters you forget too often in this film. And you got this terrible retcon bullshit with the backstory and everything. It just doesn't sit well with me.
Right, and then like you said, the positioning of Foley's character does not work. Doesn't work.
No,
for any of it.
Everyone's too much of a background character to have any impact on the audience as you move forward in the thing, because you don't care. Because aside from her, who's wonderful in the film, and gets a short-changed death scene for this guy to get smashed around and thrown out a window and get his neck broken or something.
Yeah, Kennedy got a payday.
So,
nice job, Wes.
He did the best he could, man. Again, like I said, he kept fighting. He kept fighting to doing rewrites to make sure the characters were written consistently. He fought against the peel back of violence in the film. That's saying, if we're making a Scream film, then we're making it a violent horror film.
Right.
If you want to make something else, then don't call it Scream.
Richmond Arquette played the student.
Oh yes.
Who is Richmond?
Oh, that's one of David's brothers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's Kevin and Jason there.
Mm-hmm. There's someone called Mr. Loomis. I didn't notice that. I have no idea what that actor was.
And somebody way down in the bottom, I couldn't see what character she played, was an actress named Heather Matarazzo, who is the mother of Gaten Matarazzo from Stranger Things fame, Dustin. That's his mom. She was an actress. So, fun.
This wasn't terribly fun. This was,
No, I'm over it. And then they wait, I don't even know how many years before the fourth one comes out. 11. And you're like, wait a minute, they're going to do what now? And then that one comes out and you're like, fuck, I guess I got to go see it because I saw the other ones. And then, surprise, surprise, it's good! It's way better than this shit.
Exceptionally. I mean, again, you've got 3 examples in this franchise of Williamson's writing versus this one guy who took over this franchise. It's vast difference.
I mean, it feels like a completely different movie.
Right. I mean, visually it doesn't look like the previous film. I mean, the fourth film definitely has a different look and style to it, but I just feel like...
That could be technology, it could be the evolution of film.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But this being produced so close, relatively close to the other films, has a very different look. It's not as poppy, it's not as visually interesting in certain places, and it just...
And it's also just not that exciting of a story.
It's not exciting. There's not enough innovation in the kills. Like the second film really got different. It wasn't all just knife kills, and the few that were knife kills were very graphic. Like when Randy got killed, that was very intense. Seeing that aftermath of that kill worked very well, and they had the great sequence where they're escaping the car, the cop car at near the end of the film.
Yep. And
just different things. They had more interesting ideas to work with, and they kept the pace up. The thing kept moving forward. You know, there was a little bit of a loose thing in there some places that we could have focused things and shuffled things around a little bit to make it a little bit more, as you kind of alluded to, whatnot, as more of a kind of pick it up, kind of tighten it up, kind of make it a little leaner. I think it had more going for itself. It had ideas that kind of worked, even if some of the execution at the end of the film was not the best they could. It was a lot closer to a better product than this one came out as.
Yeah, I mean...
And they were running... Again, the second one, they're writing that in a crunch. They're getting that thing out 51 weeks later, and they came out a lot better than this shit. Right.
It was the best one-year turnaround that we've ever discussed. Yeah. And then they had plenty of time to work on this, and they said, "Oh, Williamson, the double success. What's okay? Go over there in the trash."
We're going to take your 20-page outline. We're going to throw it out the window and let this other guy come up with a completely different idea.
Boo!
No good.
Oh, there you go. Ghostface mask. Easy for me to say. Under license by whoever it said.
Yeah.
The mask maker. Mm-hmm. So I challenge Ghostface Killa the Rapper to produce documents to show he's not trademark infringing.
Yes.
Somebody get him on the phone. All right.
Yeah.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. There's not much else to say. So, as always, guys, your discussion on... If you have... I mean, some people said they kind of like it in a certain way. If there's something you have an enjoyment for, if you see it in a different light, let us know what you actually do like about the film that makes it better in your eyes than it was in ours.
Yeah, I mean, we're always open for civil discussion.
So, Scream 4 is coming up real soon. So, guys, thank you so much.
You don't have to wait 11 years.
No 11 years. More like 11 days or something.
There you go.
So, there you go.
All right, nighty-night.
Bye-bye.